We often get asked, what is the best move when you're purchasing an AR-15? How much do you have to spend to get a quality rifle on a budget? So that's a little bit what we're going to talk about today. I have Isaac with me, and we're going to talk about uppers, lowers, optics, suppressors, and add-ons that you can add on later to your rifle. We're going to talk about the purposes of each part, whether it's an item that's going to be worn on heavily or something that you can cheap out on. So yeah, let's get into it.
So I often get asked, should I buy a factory rifle? Should I build my own? And I mean, in my opinion, I would build your own. This is my go-to right here. This is going to be a BCM upper on a Griffin lower. The reason I built this is because I prioritize the upper. That's going to be kind of the heart of the rifle. Good barrel, good bolt carrier group is what you're looking for. Now, when I say good barrel and good bolt carrier group, what do I mean? For me, cold hammer forged chrome line barrel is what you want, and I wouldn't go with a barrel profile less than government. An H-bar is going to be excellent, but I would avoid pencil barrels. And then as far as the bolt carrier group, go with somebody reputable. Toolcraft, BCM, Daniel Defense, LMT. If you really got extra money to throw away, get a Geisley. Those are excellent bolts. But these are the hard wear points on the rifle that actually matter. Without a good barrel, your rifle's not worth a damn. Same for your bolt. So when I'm looking for a good bolt carrier group, I said look for reputable companies, but one thing I'm going to look at is the steel that they're using. This is Carpenter 158 steel. And then another thing you're going to want to look at is having properly staked gas key right there. If those aren't properly staked and you're running this thing, especially like an FRT or something, you're running it hard, that's going to come out on you, and then your gun's not going to work. So that's why getting a good bolt carrier group is definitely important. All right, so when we talk about getting a quality barrel, I mean, that's all going to be relative to what you can afford. Ideally, get like a BCM or a Daniel Defense. Those are barrels that are going to be cold hammer forged and chrome line, and you can get, 30,000, even maybe 50,000 rounds out of them. But if you're on a budget, look at Ballistic Advantage, and then Criterion's also got some good quality barrels. But the main thing I said earlier is going to be barrel profile. And then if you can get something that's chrome lined, at the very least, even if it's not cold hammer forged, that's going to be ideal. That's going to give you a good barrel that's going to last a long time, and then you're going to have a good accurate barrel as well. Another thing you need to keep in mind is going to be barrel profile. You'll often see these lightweight barrels advertised as being great. That's good for competition use, but as far as like an actual duty rifle or a hard use gun, you do not want a pencil barrel. I would say government profile, that's what this is. That's going to be the minimum that you would want. Once you heat that barrel up, you're going to start having point of impact shifts. So that's why I would say government profile at the minimum, and then an H-bar would really be ideal. In my opinion, arguably the least important thing is going to be your lower receiver. PSA is perfectly adequate. All a lower receiver is doing is holding your trigger, and you're punching it onto your upper. It really isn't that deep. Get a PSA lower if you can. Aero precision is great. I have a Griffin armament, but regardless, don't think about your lower that much. It really does not matter. Another thing that people debate about is going to be barrel length. Honestly, if you live out in the country or you're in an area where you're not like in a city, I would just say get a 16-inch or a 14.5-inch barrel. That's more than adequate. That's going to give you good muzzle velocity. Honestly, you could go with an 18-inch or a 20-inch. I think 16-inch for one guy with one AR is going to be ideal. But if you have the means to have more than one gun, my go-to is an 11.5, and then I've got a can on the end of it, so it ends up bringing it to about 16 inches. But if you can, have a shorty and have a long gun. If you can only have one gun, I would honestly say 14.5 or 16 inches is good to go. So when we talk about barrel lengths and setups, one thing is going to be optic setup. I've got just a 2 MOA red dot here. We've got some guns on the table with LPVOs. We got EOTechs on the table. Regardless of what you're going to do, I mean, it's going to come down to the distance you want to be able to shoot. If you don't need to be able to shoot beyond like 300 yards, I think a dot only is perfectly fine. And I would honestly suggest just getting a dot to start with. And if you want to add a magnifier behind it later, go for it. But unless you're going to be shooting 500, 600 yards, I honestly don't even think you need an LPVO.
The thing is there is no such thing as a perfect optic. It's kind of personal preference. Buy what you think is right for your setup, whether that be an EOTech or a red dot or an LPVO or maybe something like a 2-12. It just really matters that you get out and train and figure out how to use your optics, because that, at the end of the day, is the most important thing. Figure out where your holds are. Spend time shooting your rifles. That is literally as simple as it gets.
It's not that deep.
Yeah, it is not that deep. Whether it's an LPVO, a red dot, or an EOTech, just get out and learn how to shoot with that particular optic and get good with it. Train. As you can see here, there's a bunch of different optics on the table. The two right here both have EOTechs on it. Obviously, it's one of the most renowned and common optics, especially the most battle proven and battle tested. I don't think you really can say anything bad about an EOTech. They're pretty durable. This is Isaac's Holosun. What is it, Isaac?
The Holosun 515.
the Holosun 515. It's a great optic. I've shot and used this. This is my Arkin 1:8. It's first focal plane. It's a great optic for the money. You can get it for like $350 or something like that. It's a great choice for somebody who's trying to get a quality optic on a budget. And this is just a SIG 2-12 by 44, I do believe. And this is like my 18-inch special purpose rifle. I like to shoot farther out with this since it's got an 18-inch barrel on it. So that kind of sums up the optics. The main thing is learn how to use your optics, train, and figure out zeros and shoot.
So when we say get familiar with your optic, something that I would recommend doing is zeroing your optic, and if you have access to it, get a chronograph. If you don't, do a lot of reading on Reddit and all over the internet and get a good idea of what muzzle velocity you're gonna have with what your setup is. And then something you can do is use a ballistic calculator from Hornady or others, and then you can make a dope sheet. This has got my drop in MOA all the way out to 600 yards, so I can take off this top cap, I can dial, and then I shouldn't really have to hold over at all. But in the end of the day, get out and actually use it and verify all the stuff, and then you're gonna be a weapon with this thing.
All right, guys, we're wrapping up optics. Next thing we're gonna talk about is slings and accessories. Isaac, you have a lot of different experience with slings because you work in the industry every day. A lot of people have different preferences. So go ahead and talk about sling.
As far as sling setups go, I mean, everyone's gonna have their own preference. Some people like running it off the end. Some people like running it short on the rail right here. I like going end to end. This is something I found to be very comfortable if I'm carrying a ruck and I'm walking through the mountains for a long time, and I'm able to necklace this thing and shoot it up close and run it inside of a building just fine. But QDs are the most simple point. I would honestly recommend starting with QDs and then figuring out how you want to modify it. This is how I do it these days. I've got paracord and I've got a Blue Force Gear UWL, but it's not that deep. Get a 2-point sling, put it on your gun, go out and shoot it and figure out how you want to modify it. That's all I'll say, because I've probably changed my sling setup 10 different times. It's not that deep. Get out there and use it. One recommendation I would make is setting up your sling in a configuration like this. So when I have my sling pulled all the way forward, I can sling the gun in the front. I can walk around with my hands free, and then if I need to be able to have slack to get on the gun, I can necklace it. Another thing I would always recommend is a weapon light. Streamlight is an excellent brand for on a budget, and then if you really want to get something higher end, you can go with a Surefire, you can go with a Mod Light. Air Socket Defense has got some great kits out there. Don't buy an O-Light. They pay people to give good reviews and they blow up on you, so don't get that. This is a hell of a light right here. Streamlight, this is a new Streamlight with over 100,000 candela. You can get one for about 150 bucks. We've talked about a lot of different setups with different barrel lengths and different purposes, so I'll kind of go through what we've got on the table and what these things are going to be ideal for. This is going to be Spencer's SPR. This has got a 2-12 on it, and this is a gun that's kind of set up to where you can reach out and touch somebody at distance. I mean, I would definitely say you could probably put this up to 700 yards pretty efficiently. And then this is going to be kind of his general purpose rifle. Same thing with my Daniel right here. Both of these are going to be, this is a 14.5, this is a 16-inch gun with a 1-8 on it. These are good at everything, but they're not excellent at anything in particular. This is better for long distance, this is better for up close, but these are guns that kind of cover all the bases. And then this is going to be my go-to rifle. It's just an 11.5-inch BCM with a dot and a white light and a can on it. That's my go-to. I can effectively shoot out to about 500 yards with that. And then as far as, that's going to be the same case for Spencer's right here. He's got a laser on there with a white light built into it. He's got an EOTech and he's got a can on it. And this is also a 300 blackout, but it's going to cover the same bases. And we got Adam's rifle here. This is a great example of just kind of a do-it-all gun. Got an EOTech, got a PEG 15. He's got a white light and a can on it, and he can reach out to distance with that, and he can effectively shoot up close.
You know, a lot of times we get asked, you know, relatively, how much do you need to spend on to get a quality rifle on a budget? So budget is relative. It could mean $1,000. It could mean $1,500. It depends on what your budget is and how much money you're willing to spend to get a quality rifle in your hands. I definitely would not go out and buy a PSA upper for $280 something or however cheap they are when they're on sale. And if that's the only option that you get, that you have to get a gun in your hands, then yes, definitely go with something like that. What I would highly recommend you do is find a reputable barrel, Ballistic Advantage, BCM. There is Blim stuff out there everywhere. Isaac sees it every day at work. You can find stuff like that. Go to a pawn shop, a local gun shops, and they will help you find a deal on a quality budget rifle. Back to what do we mean by budget? I would say $1,500 is going to get you a jam up rifle. I know that might not seem like a budget, but it is going to get you a rifle that you can reach out and touch targets out to 600 yards, and also the barrel is going to last, and that is really the most important thing. barrel, and your training. You're only as good as your training is, so you need to get out and train with it. Don't buy a piece of junk Palmetto State upper or something like a what is it?
Radical.
Yeah, don't go out and buy like a Radical or some crap like that. Yeah, it's okay. It does come with decent furniture on it, but in the long run, if you're out being a prepared civilian like we are as we're training and getting better, and you're out with the boys, you don't want to have a Radical or a PSA. Buy something that's battle proven, battle tested, and that's all there is to say about that. Next, we're going to talk about suppressors. I know this is a highly debated topic on what suppressors are good, what suppressors are bad. There's plenty of suppressors that are out there that are reputable and that work. Definitely would look at something that's full auto rated and that has good specs. Isaac, tell everybody what the specs that you're looking for.
One thing I would recommend is do a lot of research. There's good people out there like Pew Science, so on and so forth. One thing I would say with the 5.56 can, I really don't care that much about sound reduction. We're talking about a supersonic round that's going to be really freaking loud regardless. I'm looking at how durable is the can and then how is the mounting system. I like the Silencer Co. ASR. You can see that right here. Anything out there that's reputable, go with it. I think stainless steel can with an Inconel blast baffle or something similar is kind of the bare minimum for a hard to use full auto ready can. But if you can get something full Inconel, Surefire RC2s, Silencer Co. Velos 5.56Ks or the Velos full size, really, I wouldn't specify too much on the brand. Do your research on if it's durable, look at the materials that they're using, do you like the mounting system, and then go from there. That's really all it comes down to.
All right, guys, there's a lot of things that we talked about in this video. Uppers, lowers, barrels, suppressors, lights, slings. It's kind of the necessity to having a rifle. Those are the items that you need to put on a duty rifle as a prepared civilian. So just kind of close things out. Main thing is don't go buy a piece of junk rifle and put a red dot on it and let it sit in the safe and not train. That's literally the worst thing that you can do. It's best to not even have a gun if you don't even shoot it. I see people all the time, they buy these nice rifles, that they have money and they're like, oh, I'm gonna go buy a rifle and I never shoot it. It's literally the worst possible thing that you can do. They have all this ammo, don't ever train. They don't even know how to, they don't even have their gun zeroed properly. They don't even shoot the right ammo. They're gonna buy the cheapest thing they can get. There's plenty of things that you can do, and those are things I would say, if you're doing that, you need to get out and train, or find people around you, build a community that you can get out and just have fun with the boys. And Isaac, is there anything else that you want to talk about to wrap up the video on?
Yeah, one thing I would say, we went over a whole lot of topics, so we'll get more autistic on certain things in the future. This is just going to be kind of a general thing that you need to do. And also keep in mind, you don't have to do this all at once. All the stuff on this rifle, I definitely could not go out and buy all at once. Just piece things together and kind of follow what we recommended for just general quality and go from there. And like he said, get out and train.
Yeah, bottom line is get out and train, shoot your guns. And my advice to you is, if you can't buy all this at one time, like Isaac said, piece it together. 1 month buy a nice barrel, next month buy a handguard, next month find something on sale. Maybe you get your complete lower, maybe you get your parts kit. These things, they don't have to all fall together at one time. If you're a person that, like me, that you just have to have it all at one time, do it, but don't go in debt on something like this. It's better to buy something like this on a longer period of time and space out your purchases than be in debt, because then you can't buy ammo. We really appreciate y'all listening to us. This is just our opinion on what we think is necessary for somebody that's just getting into shooting and wants to get their hands on a quality budget AR. I know quality and budget kind of contradict themselves, but it is possible to, on a relative budget, get something that's nice into your hands. So with that being said, appreciate y'all watching. Give us a like and throw a subscribe. It really would help us out. And thanks for watching Load Junkies. We'll see you next time.